I'll just look at it from mine.
My friend wasn't able to make it. He wasn't able to come before 3.
Oh, okay. I can't make it after 5 because what do you call it? Fasting and so only thing you gotta do, bro, is just when you're speaking, speak into the mic like this, kind of thing.
Like this?
Yeah. So you can bring it up as high as you need it to, but it's best to
Like
sit
this.
into the table and speak into the mic.
Like this?
Yeah, that should be calm.
Cool.
Maybe yeah, that should be calm.
Mind frame?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, that's perfect. So
Cool.
the look I'm sort of going for is I think that one will be a lot closer in, just because of the length. But I just need a similar look from how that's looking. Similar enough. Oh.
I can barely see that. I have to go like right in front. From here, I can barely even see my
Oh,
face.
okay, mad. So the way you look on frame, how do I look?
You can see, like, because I feel like this one has a wider frame, so you can see. You're like centered, basically.
Oh, okay. Is that's centered as?
And that's centered as well.
Is that just a lot closer?
I feel like this one seems like, yeah. It's
Okay.
closer, but you can still see you've got space next to you.
Okay. That should be calm, basically. As long as the camera's not in there.
Yeah, it's not.
Cool. But yeah, podcast is difficult to set up and organize and shit, bro. You feel me? But we make do.
Let me know if you need me to press record on this one.
Is that not recording?
No.
No, wait, press record on that, please. That would have been stupid, man. I would have been so mad.
It's fine now, son.
It's recording video, right?
Yeah.
Cool. That's good.
This one's recording as well, right?
Yeah, that one's been recording. And the mics are recording, so we're live, innit?
Cool.
Come. Who do you want to start with, bro? Chat to me.
So, I wanted to start off with, I took a list.
Oh, yeah, by the way, just try speaking to the mic as much as you can.
I took a list,
I
right?
say bring it down a little bit. I think is best is if the mic is into your mouth more than anything. So you can turn this up and down.
So into my mouth, so like facing like this.
Yeah, that should be calm. Yeah,
Cool.
Should be calm. I'll pan it from here and there.
Cool. Yeah, no, I was saying, so I took a list and it was number 1, like what was my purpose when I'm in uni?
Okay.
Just not even like with uni in general, but with life. Why am I here? If I wasn't here, where would I be? What are 3 things that are keeping me going in uni?
Okay.
And then, like, I would have expected you to talk about maybe your social relationships. And then I was thinking we could lean into what do you need in a relationship, be it a friendship or something more intimate. And then we could just, like, go from there. But, like, more so, I was just thinking about why am I here? And just delving into that. That's what I had in my head because I couldn't think of anything more abstract. So I was just...
Right, now that's calm in itself, innit? Why are you here? So, okay, bro. I guess it all starts with, we're kind of young, and I'm like 22.
Yeah, I'm 20.
20, calm. Not too long ago, you were a kid, right? And you had to be under your parents' watchful thing, innit? So,
Yeah.
I think it comes down to your background, your upbringing. So, what were your parents like? Are they strict, or like, what did they want and expect from you?
Well, up until about 12, I was raised with my mum and dad. Then my dad moved away.
Okay.
So my mum, I wouldn't say she was strict, but I'd say that she was very... She was very tight when it came to her morals and viewpoints. So she believed that I should study a lot. That was very important. That was something that, you know, we couldn't play around with that.
Yeah.
From age 5, 6, I was going to tuition all the way up until about 6th form.
Okay.
And then, you know, I was allowed to go out and see my friends. I wasn't a helicopter child, but at the same time, she wouldn't let me go all the way to London and that until I was about 15, 16. So there were limits to certain things.
Where are you from?
In the world or in the UK?
In the UK.
I'm from Reading.
Okay, all right. That's south of London, right?
No, west of London.
It's west of London.
Yeah, but I was born in West London. Then I moved out to Reading.
I thought the next bit west of London is Slough, right?
Slough, yes. I went to school in Slough for 7 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So how far is Reading from Slough?
On the train, about half an hour.
Okay, and you went to school there.
Yeah, from year 7 to 13.
What was that like?
Because it was a grammar school, but it wasn't a catchment school. So people were coming in from London.
Oh, right.
From even all the way as far as Aylesbury, which is near like Lutonish. Then from below Reading and around Reading side. So I got to experience going to school with a lot of different people, different backgrounds.
Okay.
Because some of the other schools were just catchment schools, so you only got to mix with Slough people.
The people, yeah.
But like my one was very diverse, so I never had to worry because I went to an all-white primary school.
Right.
But I got to experience like my own culture with people who are from where I'm from, and then like Asian people, white people, people from Europe.
Yeah.
I never had that before, so it was just interesting. I liked it.
Okay, fair. So what is your ethnicity then?
Ethnicity-wise, I'm Jamaican, Ugandan, Rwandese.
Really?
Yeah.
So what are your parents specifically?
My dad's Jamaican, and my mum is Ugandan, Rwandese. So
right.
she's East African, my dad's just Caribbean.
Oh, right. Fair enough. That's cool. So how does that affect your upbringing, being those three things and growing up in, was it Reading and that?
So I think it's more so being black and growing up in Reading as opposed to being Ugandan and Rwandese, because I would only interact with people from where I'm from at home or when I'm with my aunt, and they weren't very close. So it was more so being the only black kid with my brother inside of secondary school, or sorry, inside of primary school. And
You were the only black kid in your school?
me, him, one other light-skinned guy,
Okay.
but everyone else was just white, or
Yeah.
a few Asian kids here and there. And how would I describe it? There was a lot from...
Were your parents born in West London as well?
No, so my dad's from Jamaica. Like, he was born there, raised there, moved here when he was young. And my mum came here early 90s. So she spent uni here. She grew up here, like, after, like, about my age. So she's been here for a while. But growing up in Reading, I genuinely love the area. I love the people. Really good community. You feel really included. You just walk down the road, you say hi to everyone. You walk into the park to play basketball, you say hi to everyone.
Okay, so it's like a movie kind of thing.
Say that again?
It's like a movie kind of thing.
Almost like a movie. It's because I live in a small village, so everyone's known me from when I was a kid. So I'll be walking to basketball and I'll say hi to my childminder or something. I'll just see them.
Was there ever like a lot of racism?
There was racism.
But so that's what I'm thinking when you said, oh, it's like a movie, you know, you say hi to everyone, everyone knows you.
Yeah.
How can it be like that and there also be racism?
There was racism when I was growing up. Not so much now, but when I was 5, before my brother joined the school, I was the actual only black kid in the whole school.
Okay.
So that was up until year 3. And I remember being called names. Like, I remember to this day from when I was 5 for reception, what kids would call me. And then I remember
What they call you?
So
if
before,
you want to speak about it, if you don't want to speak about
no, I don't mind speaking about it. I'm just thinking. So from before year 3, because before it began to die down after year 4, year 5, year 6. But in year 3, they'd call me things like your chocolate skin, poo skin, this, you got that. Why's your hair like that? You know, why do you look like that? You know, African drum, all these sort of things. I'm like, number one, how do you know these things and you're a kid? So what do your parents teach you at home? And number 2,
was there ever, there's a joke that people like to make about being black in school, like when they turn off the lights kind of thing. Did that
I never had that.
You never had that?
Thank God. that was a secondary school thing, but that was only because that was more so with black people to other black people when I got to secondary school. And people who had like darker skin, they'd be the butt of that joke. So luckily I was able to avoid that, but that one wasn't there in primary. I think primary was just more so randomly out of nowhere we'd be playing and one kid would come up to me and he'd be like, oh, why do you look like that? And I didn't know what to say because I just thought I was a normal child. I thought I was a kid. And I'm talking 6 years old. What 6-year-old response are you meant to give?
So do you feel like resentment, anger kind of thing towards?
No, I actually love those people. Some of those people I still see now. I'll genuinely go up to them and be like, hey, you know, how are you? It's been a while.
So it's never like oh, back in the day you used to say these things to me, like, I hate you. Or like, not even I hate you, but like, oh.
Makes me feel bad when I see you or anything, or it makes me feel, no, genuinely not.
Why not?
I think when I moved to secondary school and I was with more people who look like me or who are ethnic or people who are from more diverse backgrounds, I don't know, it just stopped me from feeling that I didn't feel left out anymore. I didn't feel like I was the odd one out. So when I went back to Reading, or when I'd spend time in Reading after secondary school, after sixth form, and I'd see these people again, all those feelings of negativity, they just left. Genuinely, I used to feel these things when I was in school, when I was younger, when I was a kid, but they just left. I don't know why or how. So I'll have, like, even somebody, I know the guy who called me African Drum when I was year 5. Some other kids came to defend me because this guy was pissed off. I can't remember what we were playing, but it was outside. It might have been like tag or something. And we got into a little confrontation, and then he called me that. That same guy, if I saw him walking along the street, I would say hi, you know?
Okay, fair. Calm. Reason I ask all that is, I also want to know, I guess, are you religious in any way?
Yeah.
Or what's your religion?
I'm a Christian.
Okay. Are you like no offense, like proper Christian, you go church and all that, and you believe in Jesus and okay, cool.
Like, I pray, read my Bible. I'm not like
okay.
I wouldn't say I'm a lukewarm Christian.
Okay, the reason I asked all those things is because you asked, why am I hearing it?
Yeah.
And I think before you can ask, why am I here, what's my purpose? Outside the spiritual sense of serving God and that, but to ask that, you kind of, I feel like you need to know where you came from and what's influenced you to get to where you are now.
Yeah.
And you told me about, strict, kind of stern mom, but loving. You talked about kind of adversity you might face as a kid, moving about different places, and now you just mentioned you're religious. So what are you doing here now? You're in uni, you're in Leicester. How does that come about? I think we spoke the other day, you told me you love maths and all those things, but why are you like here and saying not, I don't know, doing some MBA related thing or just frolicking about or starting your own business or something? Why are you here?
I'm here because when I finished sixth form, that's when I began to become passionate about basketball. But at that point, I wasn't very good. I was new to the sport. Coming into uni, I didn't really know how to play. Had I had that opportunity earlier on in my life to go into basketball in secondary school, sixth form, I probably would have gone down that path. But at that point, my biggest strength was my maths, was my academic part. So I think... So I feel like my strong point was my academic part of my life. So I decided to follow down that path, come to the University of Leicester because they offered me the best course for my skill set. And when I got here, I think I fell in love with basketball more than I fell in love with engineering. I still love engineering a lot. I still love doing math. I come to the library on my free time just to do maths problems, just to solve things. But now I've been trying to do 2 things at once, basketball/gym and then school, and trying to create a balance. So why am I here in the University of Leicester? I want to be an engineer. But if I could develop the basketball part of my life to where that could become my main source of income, then, I'd probably go down there. But that's just something that I haven't done at the moment.
What are you passionate about, like, as a kid?
As a kid?
Yeah, what did you dream? Because I asked this question to people, and I don't know, do you know, it's mad because... I just started all that. It's mad because when I ask people, I expect them to tell me a similar thing to how I felt. When I was a kid, I loved like science. I loved about the universe. I loved aliens. I watched like Doctor Who, Rick and Morty, something about that, and just understanding more about how everything worked. And I can only articulate this now, but I didn't know how to articulate it then. I wanted to be like a polymath. Yeah. So historically, back in the day, your philosophers, politicians, doctors, entertainers, comedians, they were all one person could be all of those things and be a leader in all of those things, kind of thing. Yeah. You think about people like Isaac Newton or William Shakespeare, Mansa Musa. Like these people would wear so many different hats, kind of thing. So I had like as a kid like mad wild dreams and ambitions. How much of that I am now, I don't know. That's another conversation. But I had dreams as a kid. Yeah. Kind of thing. But when I ask people this question, I find it weird. They can never say the same thing. So, like, what were you? Did you ever, like, feel crazy about something?
When I was a kid, as in maybe 5, 6, 7, before secondary school, I wanted to be a pilot at first, but I think I was passionate about... I used to like playing games, specifically Nintendo games, Terraria, and I wanted to be a games developer. I always drew comics. I'd always draw art from 5, 6. I still have them at my house. And I wanted to be somebody who designed them, who drew, who made characters, who made concepts for things. And then I fell in love with physics and space in early secondary school, maybe year 9, year 10. And at that point, I wanted to become an astrophysicist. But then when I came to 6th form, I didn't really want to do that. I didn't know what to do when it came to that path, but I still liked maths. So then I decided to go into engineering. And I'm here now. But like I said, I became passionate about basketball when I was about 18 years old. So now I think you change a lot as you grow. I'm not someone who had the same goals as I do now a long time ago. A lot of people, when they grew up, they had one fixed goal. Let's say they wanted to be a footballer. From age 6 to 20, they're still grinding football. I never had that. But one thing I thank my mum for is she let me have that freedom. She didn't say, no, you have to be a doctor. What you're going to do every day is do biology, chemistry, and you can't deviate from that. She just said, whatever you want to do, I'll genuinely support you. Whatever career path.
Was you an only child?
No.
You had other siblings?
I have a lot, but my full brother is my only one.
Oh, okay. He's your only full brother?
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 17, turning 18.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So you were raised together both, just the two of you in that one house?
Yeah.
Fair. And what you experienced, what you just told me, was it similar for him?
Yeah, but he was more into the academic side of things, and I think he was always smart.
But did he also get like that freedom that, that
he also got that freedom as well.
Oh, okay.
But because he was so intelligent, when I was doing my 11 plus for the grammar school, and he was about 7, 8, and he was doing the maths and non-verbal reasoning, which is like the IQ test, better than I was. And at that point, my mum was like, okay, you have to start doing what he was doing much earlier, because I can see, this guy's really intelligent. And then he got into computer programming, maths, physics. We always watched, engineering videos from young. And now he actually genuinely loves it. I kind of got him into engineering now. So he's 17, 18, doing his A-levels next year. And he's doing 4 of them. He's going to go to like Imperial. He's one of those ones, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Do you feel like you're like an older brother type person?
Yeah. Like he's been getting into basketball. I've been like coaching him, helping him. He's been doing maths, and like I'll show him my uni problems. So I want to be the older brother for him. I want to help him find what he wants to do, because I never wanted to force him into engineering. I said, what do you want to do? If you don't want to do engineering, that's fine. But he actually likes maths, so I'm happy for him.
No, I get that. How tall are you, bro?
I'm 6'5".
Does that like come up a lot in your life?
Yeah.
How so?
I was the most recent example. In fact, this is actually a funny topic. I want to go into this one a little bit more, so how it gives you privilege that people take for granted.
Okay.
I was at a house party Friday night.
Right.
And I walked in. The second I walked in, people were like, "Oh my gosh, how tall are you? Oh, you're so tall!" Yeah. Trying to have a conversation with me. I didn't know any of these people. I went into the room. They were just like interviewing me. Oh, this, that. And I never experienced that before. Because I was just sat. Sometimes I just think, sometimes I sit and think and I zone out and I'm just thinking my own things. And I was like, why do I deserve this treatment when there are people who also came into the building and they're just normal? They want to be recognized as well. And like, this is not to boast or to brag. I just genuinely want to like regurgitate exactly what happened that night.
Okay. Yeah.
And then this continued throughout a bit. I'd walked into the living room, same thing. People come up to me asking me questions, and like I love it.
Mostly girls or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some guys as well, but mostly girls. And I was just like, okay, other than that's the positive aspect, or even be in Reading, where I'll be just walking down and some random person will ask me, "Oh, do you play basketball? This, that," or like when you're walking through High Cross and then someone approaches you, they try and sell you something. They always bring up the fact that I'm tall first, and then they see that I'm walking through, then I'm an easy target, so they can sell me, something. But it's fun. It's fun being tall. It helps with basketball, as long as you get your back in check, get your muscles in check, because otherwise back pain is going to be peak. Posture in check, yeah.
But do you know why I laughed when you said that? It's because I think in the times we live now, but especially one thing is like, you know, when like a rich celebrity goes on TV to be like, oh, I'm rich, but there are these poor people, like, it kind of seems a little bit like disingenuous.
I understand that
kind of thing. Not to say it on
no
you,
no
but
no
like,
no I see where you're coming from.
yeah. But yeah, I don't even want to hit you with the stereotype because you're tall. You also like sort of got into basketball. Did you never feel like that when you was
Younger?
Yeah.
So it was almost like they tried to groom me into it when I was about 13 because I was very, very tall as a child. I actually began to slow down as I got older, but I was 6 foot at 14. And people were trying to call me a waste of height. Useless because I wasn't playing basketball.
Have you seen that meme? Oh, if I wasn't using my phone, it's like this 6'7" kid dancing in front of a toilet.
Oh yeah, I've seen that guy.
So
yeah.
all of the comments are like, what I would be doing in life if I was 6'7". I wouldn't be some idiot making TikToks.
he can't even have fun because he's tall. He can't just dance in the toilet. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like he was looking over the cubicle.
Yeah.
You can see him over the cubicle. Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, like I'll be like balling right now in NBA or something.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So but like when you're like that, because they say tall people have like, or they're more likely to get a job, or I don't know, obviously get a woman or get this or that. They're perceived to be like, oh no, some superhero kind of person.
Yeah.
Do you never feel like you take, or don't you feel like you want to take it to your advantage?
I do take it to my advantage.
How so?
Modeling. I've gone to that.
Really?
Actually, at that same party, some guy came up to me and was like, "You need to be a model. I need you to join my agency." He put me on.
Where
Model.
was the party? Was it like a uni party or something?
Someone's house party. You're a guy called Lehendra Engineering.
I don't think so, no.
He invited me to his house party. And
I'm just thinking, what kind of party is there a modeling agent in the...
I have no idea why he was there. But he was like a student as well, but he happened to work for a modeling agency.
Oh, okay.
And I had a conversation with him for about 10 minutes. I did not know this guy. But it felt weird because why do I get the opportunity? But he just saw me. And I wouldn't have had that if I wasn't tall. I know I wouldn't have. And, you know, like leveraging, for example, the aspect when it comes to women, or leveraging the fact that, you know, I have an advantage in basketball naturally. When it comes to the job, I mean, I've only worked 2 jobs and my height had nothing to do with that. I just happens to be at the right place, right time, McDonald's, warehouse. But I think when it comes to the corporate world, I genuinely think that first impressions matter. When you walk in, if you carry yourself a certain way as a tall man, if you walk with confidence, walk with your head high, people will perceive you to be more masculine and more serious. So they probably will take you more seriously if you are tall, if you leverage your height in the right way. But like I said, I think this is just the way the world is. Some people have certain talents. Some people have things that other people don't. And there are a lot of things that I don't have that I wish I did have, but I can't.
What?
Okay, this might sound bad, but I have ADHD, right? I used to wish that I didn't have it. I wish I had the ability to genuinely focus the way other people in my school did. My teachers would be like, they'd move me away from other kids, and they'd be like, "You have to sit here with us. You can't talk to them because I'm a distraction in a way, and I struggle to focus. I move around. I fidget. I wish I just didn't have that. I wish I could just be normal." But not anymore. But if I didn't have that, it'd make my life so much easier.
No, I get you.
There are good things that come out of it, but there are also just the negatives.
But no, like, I'm not trying to criticize you or anything, like.
Yeah.
But I can already like imagine the comments, like when I clip this up, and
Yeah.
somebody's gonna be like, "This guy is 6'5" and he's talking about ADHD."
I already know. This guy's 6'5" and he's trying to make himself the victim. Yeah. And imagine when I walked into that party, the first thing, there's one guy I didn't know. He was like, "Oh, I already know you're greedy." You're a greedy guy. I didn't know him. What do you mean? I'm just here to have a fun time. I'm gonna go home. What do you mean?
I think, do you know what it is?
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, do you know what it is, like, especially when you go through social media and like, I think as a man, being tall is like, it's like you were blessed or kind of thing. So like, the perception of tall men is mad. Have you ever seen the balloon popping thing?
Yeah, I have.
The 20v1 balloon
all
popping.
that sort of thing. Yeah.
And it will be like, some woman, she'll pop a balloon on a guy who's like 6'5" and be like, "Oh, you're not tall enough for me." So what about all these guys that are like 6 foot and below. They're not even coming on the show kind of thing.
Yeah, they don't qualify beforehand. They didn't even get a chance.
They don't even get a chance, and this person's at 6'5", being told they're too short. Man, so I think that perception around height and that kind of thing, I think that's such an interesting thing, and I think it's very true in this world.
Yeah,
the one that we live right now.
I think the world is a little bit superficial when it comes to your appearance, height. I think ever since the social media era began to take.
No, I think even before that, probably a long time before that, social media's only made it worse than what it already is.
Yeah, but like that's just taken it to a new level. I feel like not even just height, but your appearance. It's never been more important to look good or to, take care of how you look. I know it's always been important, but because you get so much value out of how you look, because people want to look a certain way now. People want to impress everyone. I think people live for other people more than ever. So when you are perceived to be attractive, you're on a different echelon when it comes to the way people treat you just off of first meeting, because this is different if you've known people for a while. Let's say you're a weirdo, but you happen to look like, I don't know, a model, then it's not going to work. I just noticed these things. I never wanted to be one of those guys who was like, looks is everything. But I've seen it.
No, I heard that. Well, in what other ways have you taken advantage of
being tall?
Yeah.
Other than sport and, like, for example, I don't know, with women. And I guess I've taken advantage with the modeling thing, because I've tried to join other agencies before, and I'm part of the We Create UOL.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
They had some modeling thing going on. I joined that, but other than that, I'm trying to think of other aspects that I could leverage that. I don't know. Where do you think I would? Or where do you think I should?
I think when you want to seek out opportunities, especially with different people, I don't know, networking, business, I think setting that first impression. Yeah. There's an allure around height, especially now. I think, say you're in a conference, say you're in an event, I think when people see their person like you, they'll be intrigued, they'll be more open. Maybe that could be one way, for instance. Obviously, meeting women, for example, that you'll benefit from that. Take, for example, like, because of our culture, we see leaders, like, you say height is associated with masculinity. Yeah. It might be easier for you to get yourself into a leading position, become a leading person that people look to or organize. Like, you can imagine, say, at your church, every pastor, you imagine some tall person. Yeah. Every president, they're typically quite tall, imposing, leading-looking men kind of thing. I think probably stuff like that. Probably so many other things as well, but I don't know that. But okay, you spoke about what brought you here, like what you are. But what do you mean by what is your purpose? What do you mean by that exactly?
When we spoke about the spiritual aspect, I think that's a whole separate, that transcends everything that I do on a day-to-day basis in this world. But when I say what's your purpose in this life right now, outside of my spirituality, why are you in uni? Why for example, why am I studying here? Why do I get up in the morning? Why do I go to the gym? Why do I play basketball? Why do I even speak to people? Why do I call my mum? I could not call my mum if I didn't want to. Why do I want money? Why do I want to be rich? Why do I want to be able to help people? Why do I want to have relationships with my family? Or why do I even want a girlfriend? Why do I want a wife? Why do I want to be the best man that I can be when I can just chill and take it easy? Why do I need to? What do I get out of any of this? And then a lot of these things, they flood in. And there are distractions in this world. Social media is a big one. But what I've been doing recently is just spending an hour on my phone a day. I set like an hour in the evening where I'm allowed to just go on YouTube, do whatever. But throughout the day, I'm not allowed to, so I can't watch YouTube in the day. And then I'll just be in my room, just lying on my bed, just chilling, thinking. And these thoughts flood in. Why am I actually just here? And that allows me time to think and introspect.
But okay, so when you sit down, you reflect and sit within your thoughts.
Yeah.
What do you come to any sort of conclusion
as to why I'm here? What my purpose is?
Yeah, and I'm assuming you're talking about like a personal thing. Isn't that more like a goal that you're searching for?
Yeah, but there is no one goal for me that I'd be happy with if I achieved it. Maybe basketball if I became a professional basketball player, but then I can always improve. I can always be better than I already am. So I know, because there's been things in my life that I wanted to get. I used to have really bad acne, for example, and I wanted to achieve clear skin, and my skin's got clearer over the last maybe 6 months. Then I realized, oh, I don't feel like that achievement that I wish I felt when I started. And then you realize that the journey in itself, doing my skincare every day and being consistent with it, that was the good in everything. And then I realized, rather than just chasing gold, the good in everything. And then I realized, rather than enjoying training basketball or enjoying my time in the library as opposed to enjoying getting that first, that's what's actually important for me, because then in this life, you spend majority of the time grinding, working, as opposed to achieving. And yeah, it's good to achieve. It's good to fail as well. But time and life will just pass you by if you don't just look, stop, be present. Yesterday I was in the library.
It says stop and smell the roses or something.
Exactly, stop and smell the roses. I was in the library yesterday and I was doing my CAD. And I was like, oh, I can't be arsed, man. I'm just here. I've been here for a while. Then I just stopped. And I was like, I'm actually sat in the University of Leicester. I worked quite hard to get here. I thought I was going to fail on my A-levels. And the fact that I'm here now, the fact that at any point I could see someone that I know and talk to them, that's a privilege. And I was like, I'm on these computers. They're actually really good. Let's say the internet was terrible. That could be a situation, but the internet is really good here. I have a computer room that's like 7 minutes from my room at home. And I just stopped and I was like, wait, life's actually good. Life is good. So rather than just chasing the goal, so when it comes to my purpose here, I realized there is no one purpose that I have. There's just multiple different goals that I've set, and enjoying my life is the most important thing, as well as the spiritual side of, serving God and being the best man that I can be in that regard. Yeah.
You said, what would you be doing if you wasn't here? So what would you be doing?
If I wasn't in uni? I think when I'm in uni, it gives me an easier path to achieving being an engineer. If I wasn't in uni, I wouldn't be doing that. So then I'd be at home thinking, how am I going to make money? I haven't got a job set out for me after 3 years. So I'm going to try and find ways to make money. I'd be on YouTube every day searching up business ideas or ways to make money. Yeah, because I'd be scared. It would give me, because that fear would drive me. Because I'd be in the warehouse. I've worked in the warehouse for a long time. And every day I work there, it's like torture mentally. So then it would actually be me operating out of that sense of hatred for working in that warehouse. Every time I get back home after that 10-hour shift, I'd just be like, okay, how am I going to make money? How do I invest? So I'd probably be doing the warehouse alongside maybe a bit of basketball here and there, and then some sort of business idea. Because in uni I don't have that level of fear, because I have a somewhat sense of security with this engineering thing. I'm not as driven with my business side.
Do you know, it's fascinating you said that, because I heard something the other day.
Yeah.
A guy on a podcast, what a surprise. He said, comfortable people should be more poor.
Yeah.
Because they'd be more driven.
Yeah.
And he said this in every aspect. He said, like, say, for example, the house you live in, it doesn't look that nice, ain't that new, but you get by. It's a little bit moldy, but, you can sort it out.
Gets the job done.
But had the roof collapsed, or had, you been freezing cold, had you had something, you wouldn't have got uncomfortable where you were. You was like, nah, I need to sort this out right now. I'm going to get me some deposit money, look for a new house, pressure the landlord, whatever it is. It's like, oh, my boss is all right. He doesn't scream at me. He's not threatening to fire me all the time. The deadlines aren't that much pressure. You kind of sit comfortable, happy where you are.
Yeah.
But had you, been paid just a little bit less, just that it wasn't just enough that you could survive. Had it been just a little bit less, you were struggling.
Yeah.
That would be the urgency you needed to get yourself into a better position, kind of thing. So do you think that you're getting comfortable?
I'm comfortable in regards to my academic life. With basketball, I feel like I'm a little bit behind because I started late. Now, whenever I train 4 times a week, bare minimum, I'd play runs, scrimmages a lot. And the reason why I do that, the reason why I've been training every day in the summer, both summers the last 2 years, is because I felt like people have already passed me. Look at my friends getting better. Look at people that I know who are semi-pro, and look at me. I didn't feel comfortability there. And even though I'm getting better now, I still don't feel comfortable. Whereas with engineering, the way I see it, you know, my mum's giving me money from time to time, even though I'm working. If at any point I go broke, I can ask my mum for money. So there's no incentive for me to be on the job searching app 5 times a day, 10 times a day looking for new jobs. Or I feel like I have a sense of security with this engineering thing. When I finish, hopefully I can find a job. But if you told me right now, you will not get an engineering job after you finish this degree, yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable. I'd be stressing. And then that would drive me to be an even better man. And I have to admit, I am comfortable. And it's not good in terms of reaching my full potential. But it's good in the sense that I'm not feeling stressed unnecessarily. So there's ups and downs to it, but I think it would be better if I drove myself to be better without having to feel uncomfortable. Because when you become self-aware of the fact that you don't actually need to be uncomfortable to be better, you just have to do more, then you can do more. It's just about being disciplined and doing that extra 1% every day. But, I mean, I'm only human.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
Of course, isn't it? So, you mentioned basketball a lot. What does one have to do in the UK to get into basketball and get paid to play?
There's a lot. Normally means, at my age, joining a Division 1 team, and then from that point, getting scouted to a professional team, be it overseas.
What's a Division 1 team?
That's the highest division you can play basketball, men's. But normally
in the UK?
In the UK.
So go on, for a lowdown, because basketball's not a popular sport here.
It actually is.
Well,
but
relatively speaking.
It's not popularized in TV in the media.
Obviously, there are basketball courts when you go down different areas. People like play, but I think relatively speaking, in this country, football is the most popular sport without a doubt. Then other sports, you've got a big enough infrastructure for rugby. They've got rugby stadiums, they've got rugby pitches, they've got the nations, whatever. There's infrastructure for sports like tennis in this country. You've got Wimbledon, you've got different opens, horse racings. Again, there's an infrastructure for it. Basketball in this country, there lacks infrastructure, lacks investment, other than recreational playing. I'd say, in my opinion. But for the people that don't know, how does basketball in the UK work? Similarly to how it works in Premier League, also like football, in the United Kingdom. I can explain that to a layman or a girl who never watches football, so she can understand it for her boyfriend. So how does basketball work in the UK?
Well, normally start when you're a kid. If you play from young, it'll be like this, the same as football. Under 7, under 8, whatever. Teenagers. Then you get to under 16s. Then you get to under 18s. And after under 18s, you could join the men's. And then that's when we got the divisions. I'm not sure about how the divisions work in the kids' leagues. Got Div 4, Div 3, Div 2, Div 1. And to join Div 2, Div 1, I tried to join a Div 2 team. I'd never had any team experience before. They asked me for a basketball CV. So you have to have film footage of you winning or you having a highlight tape or just evidence that you're good at basketball without just saying I'm good at basketball. You have to put, your weight, your height, everything. Then there'll be tryouts, which is normally at the end of summer, going into, the season. So October time, September time, late September. Let's say you make the team. You play. If you play well, you get minutes. If you don't play well, you'll be on the bench. If you play horribly, you're off the team.
Okay. Natural.
It just happens in sports, isn't it? It's a cruel world.
Yeah.
And if you're really, really good, then you might get offers. You might get scouted from other teams in the country or overseas to play professionally. Now,
is Division 1 professional?
No.
So what is Div 4, 3, 2, 1?
It's just basketball. You pay to play. It's like you play on a team.
You pay to play?
Yeah.
So you don't get paid to play?
No, I'm not sure how semi-professional works in basketball, but...
So this is semi-pro?
At this point, Division 1, I don't think it's semi-pro. It might be, but Division 2 is not semi-pro. Division 2 is the one where, the guy said, you're going to have to pay to play. It's not very expensive per game.
So who's a Division 2 team?
What team was it? Was it Leicester Warriors, Div 2? I tried to join this back in October. In Reading, I don't know, but we have a Div 1 team called Reading Rockets. But if you get professional, obviously you get paid.
So how does, say you're in a Division 1 team,
Yeah.
How many teams are in a Division 1 team?
There are a lot. There's a lot across the country. You have East Midlands, you've got
What are we talking,
South.
20, 100?
Oh, I'm not sure about 100, but definitely more than 20.
Okay.
There's a lot of teams, yeah.
And would that represent like a city or town?
There's multiple teams in London,
Okay.
and there's multiple teams in Leicester.
Mm.
But the main one in Leicester would be, like, for example, Leicester Riders. That's like their main one.
That's a Division 1 team.
Yeah,
So do they have their own court or something?
they do. Yeah, it's a really nice court.
Okay. Where are they located?
You know the city centre?
Yeah.
You know Abbey Park?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's around Abbey Park. It's city centre side.
So this is not affiliated with universities or anything. It's its own thing.
It's affiliated with Loughborough. But, you know, Loughborough is a very sports-oriented university, so you're going to have a lot of opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Leicester, for example, the local one here, Leicester Riders is a Division 1 team.
yeah,
Cool. So say you've got like 30, 40 Division 1 teams or something like that.
yeah.
But that's not professional though.
I don't think so.
Okay, so from semi-pro
Yeah.
to pro, what is that? Who is that? What does that involve?
Semi-pro is when you make some salary, but it's not enough salary to be your full-time job. So you'd most likely be working another job on the side in a warehouse, for example, or at Mackey's, but you get paid after you play. So there is money involved.
Okay.
But the
And
reason
where does that money come from?
I can tell you.
Okay, because
I have no
obviously in
idea.
football, you've
Yeah.
got multiple leagues.
Yeah.
I don't know all of them, but the main ones that people know is League 2, League 1,
Yeah.
Championship, and
Prem.
Premier League. Premier League is where you're, hundreds of millions, billions. It's the premiership of this country.
Yeah.
Championship, beneath that, you're still getting millions. You can still make a ridiculous wage off of that. Get 2 million, 3 million a year.
Yeah.
Even League 1 or 2, some of them might get lucky, might get a mil, might get paid 500K a year, 200, 300K. So more than the average man.
Yeah.
They might have second jobs, but they're getting paid to play football.
Yeah.
Some of them are brokies in it. Then you can't do anything. That's League 1, League 2. That's professional football in this country. Beneath that, you got the National League, the G League. You might have heard of a football team called Wrexham.
I know Wrexham.
So they got really popular because Ryan Reynolds bought the team with some other people, and they got promoted from, I think, either the National or G League to League 1. So
Yeah.
they're now a professional football team or something like that. It's this whole crazy thing in it. And apparently they want to do this with other football clubs as well, American investors and stuff. But cool. The ones people know about League 1, 2, Championship and Premier League in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
And Premier League being the top, where you got your massive stadiums, your Etihad, your Anfield, your Old Trafford.
Yeah.
These are structures worth hundreds of millions, billions. I'm saying that's what I'm talking about, infrastructure in the sport of football. And you got, different people broadcasting, Sky Sports, BT Sports, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
etc. And you got sponsorships. You got money, is infrastructure in this sport, right? What I'm trying to get out of, and your average football fan will know this.
Yeah.
And you got international investment as well. You got foreign people buying up Newcastle, Man City, you got FSG for Liverpool. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole thing. It's a whole system and organization of thing, right? Cool.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, I want to help them understand for how basketball works in this country. So you're telling me that you've got your Division 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 being the highest.
The highest one.
Division 1 is semi-pro.
I'd assume so. I'm not, because I'm still quite new to basketball.
Okay,
I'll have to
fair
ask some people, but
Yeah.
I know that people who play for Division 1, they have a very high chance of making it professional, either here or in Europe. To
Okay.
get the NBA level, that's harder. That normally requires either you play professionally in Europe first or internationally, or you go to an American college, play Division 1, Division 2, Division 3 basketball, and then join the draft.
Okay. That's where they have their D1 athletes and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, in the UK, from Division 1 is the next step up professional
It
basketball.
would be professional basketball.
So,
yeah.
so is there money in professional basketball in the UK?
There is. The average salary, I believe, is £31,000. So I think that's a livable wage, but it's shaky. It's like warehouse money. It's like you can live, but you're not really.
Wow. That's crazy.
Compared to a League 2, League 1, or even a Championship player, you're playing for, let's say, for example, a Luton team. You'd be making serious money.
Yeah.
You're not the best team in the country.
Yeah, you can be getting at least 200K, 100K.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's how it is across most of Europe, unless you're, let's say, the star player who's making like 200K, one of the best players in the country, but the money's in America.
So what do they call the professional league in the UK?
It's the Super Basketball League, I believe. It used to be called the British Basketball League, but they've changed it. They got new owners or something.
How many teams are there in?
Or was it? I can't name all of them. I don't watch it like I watch the NBA, but there were, last time I checked, 15-ish?
15-ish teams.
20 maybe? 15-ish? Yeah.
And they're getting paid what? Maybe average 30K, maybe some 40, 50.
Yeah, that was the average I searched on Google for those players, yeah. So it's...
And is it broadcasted?
It is broadcasters. You can actually... But to be fair, you can watch most of these games for free. They streamed them on YouTube. That was when I last watched it, which was in year 13, but I'm not sure about now. Of the Super Basketball League, I haven't watched it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, that's mad. So from there, wow. So, but then I know there is talk of there are European basketballers that make it to America, like Giannis.
Yeah.
A couple Spanish ones. I think basketball's pretty big in Spain.
Yeah.
I think it's big as well in Argentina, but that's abysmal.
It is. You could make more money working a regular job than going into basketball professionally in this country.
But cool. Even if you do that, you can say that you've made it professionally. And what's your goal, or what are you trying to do with basketball?
To make it professional, I remember I told my friend, if I go professional, you owe me £30. I still remember that to this day. Year 13, which is a silly one. I was new to basketball. But I'm going to prove them wrong. Everyone that was like, you suck. I'm going to prove them all wrong. And for myself, I want to be the best basketball player that I can be, whether that means I go professional here in America. I don't really care where it is. As long as I can be a professional basketball player, I've reached my goal.
Bring
Oh, yeah. As long as I can reach that.
Yeah. Fair enough, bro. So then, but do you know what steps you have to get to, or where you got to move to?
I know what I have to do with my basketball CV, for example, or having my games recorded, having my highlights recorded. You can't just play and have no one watch, because then any random person on the street could say, I'm tough. I've played for this team.
You could. Oh, well, but what if you actually did play for that pro team and you have recorded match?
Oh, the pro team is different, but let's say, for example, you played for a Division 3 team or Division 2 team and there's no recorded evidence of it. You don't film your highlights, or they're not broadcasting their games, which is uncommon. Then there's no proof. So although most games are broadcasted when you play in division basketball, it's best to make sure that you take advantage of that and make your own CV and have it be put out there on LinkedIn, or it's like getting a regular job, isn't it?
Yeah. Fairs. And then from there, the goal is to... Would you actually go America to try?
If I had the opportunity to go to America, I would take it. But if they said right now, we're offering you a spot, let's say, for example, in the London Lions for like 40,000 a year for like 2 years or something like that,
You would take that?
I would be questioning it. I would be on that. It's like a seesaw. I'd be somewhat in the middle, because there's more job security becoming an engineer, but I'm passionate about basketball. Even if I was making a decent wage, at least I could go back into engineering afterwards. But I'm in my physical prime. If I can take advantage of that now, I still have studies. I can be 40 and I can go into engineering, with no experience, as long as I have the education. So I'd be thinking about it. I'd have to talk to my mum, and I want to get people to help me find the right thing for me. But as long as I had the opportunity to make it professional, then I've reached my goal,
No, I rate that, bro. That's cool. That's interesting. It's new as well. I haven't heard that from anyone. I've met a lot of people that are still trying to get into football, but after like 19, 20, they give up. But there's a famous story of Jamie Vardy.
I know about Jamie Vardy.
Packing boxes at Morrison's or something.
Yeah.
Until the age of 25, 26.
Yeah.
Then he got scouted by Leicester by like luck.
And look what he's doing with Leicester now. Look what he's done.
Yeah.
2016.
And he's 39 now.
He's still playing, isn't it?
Playing Premier League. His prime is gone, but people are saying that guy was one of the best strikers to have ever come out of this country. Apparently, that's just people's opinion. But although that is an exception, because most people won't have that story, because people say when you're young, chase your dreams. When you turn 30, 31, 32, 33, you've got a family, that chasing dream stuff kind of need to drop it now and be realistic. Kind of. I don't know. Good luck with that, though.
Thank you.
Seriously, good luck with that. What else did you want to ask? What did you want to jump into whilst we still got a bit of time left?
Back with the be realistic. I hate that term. I was told to be realistic by my teachers from when I was younger, like sixth form. They told me that I was going to fail everything. I wasn't doing very well in year 12. They said that I'd think about, getting a job, not going to uni. and I'm here today.
I think when people say that kind of stuff, they're doing too much, I'd say. And the reason is because they act like some little, I don't know, exam that you have to do in 5 years.
Yeah.
That you might be struggling a little bit here in this area, that area. They act like it's the be all end all. Like they've got some magic eye that's going to see the future. I think they're doing too much. But I think more so like, if you got, it's about risk reward kind of thing.
Yeah.
Say like, they usually, when people say this about like, oh, say you're like 40 and you've got your, I don't know, young children to think about.
Yeah.
It's not the time for you to quit your job to start your business kind of thing. But again, who are you to tell somebody to be realistic? Because at the end of the day, who knows what could happen? Yeah,
and I understand that. When it comes to being realistic, it's leverage what you're good at and look at your situation from an outside-in perspective. Let's say you're the 40-year-old dad. If you're making, you know, let's say under 60K, you're making like 30, 40K. Why would you drop out to try and start your clothing brand that's going to pop off, you know, when there's no evidence? So you see, in that case, yeah, be realistic. But I'm not anyone to say that you can't do it, because it might actually work, you know. But you have to take risks, but you have to understand the level of those risks. So for me, trying to go into basketball is a risk because I could hurt my body, I could hurt myself, I could not make it, and it could be a bunch of wasted time that I could have spent just locked into engineering. But I think in this life, if I'm not taking risks, if I'm just doing one thing and one thing alone, then I'm not really making the most of my potential. So I'd be willing to be told that I sucked when I was 18 years old, when I was in sixth form, to where I'm at now, where people think that I'm good at basketball. That's already a jump. And then if I can make it further, then that would have been me not being realistic, because I told my mum when I was in year 13 that I want to be in the NBA and I want to take basketball seriously, and she was just like, yeah, just focus on engineering. Like, I appreciate you doing what you want to do and focus on your goals, but she just wanted me to do school. She was like, you're spending so much time doing basketball, and I was like, yeah, because I want to be professional. And she was like, you're addicted, you're obsessed. That was the word she used, obsessed, in the year 13 summer.
The successful people have to be obsessed though.
Yeah, you have to be. I was genuinely obsessed. I was out there, you know, when we had the heat waves, my skin was peeling off. I was outside 7 hours a day. I had sunburn, but I was doing it because I loved it and I wanted to do it. I knew what I had to do. So you have to be obsessed. I like what Kanye once said. You have to be delusional to make it, if you want to do something that you really, really, really are passionate about.
Fair enough, bro.
Yeah. But you said go back to the previous topics. We didn't really get to discuss like the relationship side, as in even just friendships.
Yeah.
Just with people. How are you finding that?
Me?
Yeah.
Do you know what's mad? I was having one long ass conversation with a couple of people the other day.
Yeah.
About friendships, and they were talking about something. I think it came up in conversation that if you haven't spoken to your friend in like 6 months, are they still your friend, kind of thing?
Yeah.
I said no. They were saying, yeah, they are, because you might be busy or things might happen. But if you meet up with that friend and you catch up with them, then, you know, that closeness that you had, you'll still have that. And one of the things they were saying was like, there are people I talk to every day, I chill with them, but they're not my friend.
Yeah.
But if me who hasn't, it was a conversation with 4 people, and one of the guys was saying, I haven't seen this guy. There was one time we hadn't literally spoke for a year.
Yeah.
But he's my friend, and not these other people that I speak to and chill with every day.
Yeah.
And I think they're like acquaintances or whatever. I never understood that. But what I told him is I reflected a long time ago, and I said to him, a friendship's a kind of relationship. And I said every kind of relationship has, like, you know, when your in-game character has bars for different attributes.
Yeah.
I said every kind of relationship has a necessary amount of attributes, kind of thing. So for example, a romantic relationship between a husband and wife, or maybe a boyfriend and girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Or one between your mum and yourself, or one between you and your friend, or even you and your neighbor, you and your acquaintance, you and your co-worker, etc., etc. Whatever you want to call them, in my opinion, they're all a type of relationship. But each different type of relationship has a different level of